Record executive Sean Diddy Combs is reportedly still a very powerful man while behind bars at the Metropolitan Detention Center in Brooklyn, New York City. As covered, Diddy's already been denied bond twice. He is facing charges of racketeering, conspiracy, sex trafficking, and transportation for purposes of prostitution. Oh, yeah. And for everybody that's acting like, oh, they only do it with black men. Lil Scrappy. No, baby. Y'all just don't. I keep telling y'all are not in white people news, so you don't know. Girl, Vince McMahon is under investigation for the same shit. Mr. WWE, all y'all wrestling fans out there who know who Vince McMahon is, yes, he's currently being investigated for the same shits. He's a Caucasian man. And I would like to tell y'all to please go and watch that documentary, because when I tell y'all the similarities between hip hop and the wrestling federation, girl, similarities are insane. Similarities are insane. The more you know, ho, the more you know. Okay. So, despite being jailed, a source alluded to people that, due to the amount of power he has, alleged victims of Diddy still have great reason to be concerned. He's so powerful. Everyone was afraid to cross him. Even though he's behind bars now, he's still so powerful. We all knew it. Even back then, they continued. So stop asking us why people didn't come out. Stop asking us why they wait. Stop asking us those questions when the people around him are saying it's because he is dangerous. Everyone always chalked it up to being a creative genius when it came to his obsession with controlling things. Child, when he was talking about the temperature in the room because it affects the way the alcohol processes through your body, that's when I really started to understand. This is a dangerous nigga. And that's why I'm gonna tell y'all that's a sign of somebody that you need to make sure. Women, I know y'all, a lot of y'all will find a good black man, Savannah girl. And if he pays attention to detail, doing all kind of stuff that you like, little bitty, just paying attention, you'll think that's a good thing. I've been there. You will think it's a good thing. Then they use those powers against you. And you find out it's okay for these niggas to be a little dumb. Okay? Because this amount of effort is scary for a man. Because when they decide to flip it on you, girl. Anyway, he's incredibly smart. He knows a lot of people and he's helped a lot of people. So a lot of people owe him. He knows that. And that's another thing. For everybody that has a positive story about these people and somebody else has a terrible story about them, understand anytime they did something good, they had it in their mind that this person is going to give their account of me. They're going to argue on my behalf. He was so nice to me. That's what happened in that Vince McMahon documentary. Was it Bruce? Little fluffy white man that was one of the producers in the box the whole time? Sitting up there talking about because he made sure that your wife had good cancer treatments 24 years ago. That means we're supposed to act like he still wasn't the man that did all of this terrible stuff to people over the years. Overworking them men, making them prove loyalty to him only for him to really throw them away when they were no longer, financially advantageous for him. Y'all got to know that people that do fucked up stuff know that they have to go and do good things in order to offset it. That's the thought process. Why do you think Bill Cosby gave so much money to all of those colleges and institutions and shit? Not just a tax write-off, sweetheart, but that's a part of it. Child, they said, according to the insider, Diddy is capable of a lot, much more than people think, even now. Somebody said that man ain't bothering nobody. Girl, how do you know? And that's what I'm talking about. How do you know? How do you know? How do you know? Oh my God, this man got condos in y'all head. Are you okay? Do you hear the mindset that y'all have? Do you know how stupid you have to be in order for somebody to put out a warning? Hey, this person is still very dangerous. And y'all in the comments who have no information on it whatsoever, have no idea what the fuck y'all talking about, making comments talking about, oh my God, this man got condos in y'all head. Yeah, baby. Yeah. Yeah, he does. He does right now while we on this blog. Yeah. Girl, the lights are on and we're home. What's going on, Sean? What's going on? If he was so powerful, he would have gotten bail the first time. Let me tell you something. Not being able to make the judge change his mind about letting you out of jail doesn't mean you don't have people who you can call to exact your revenge or whatever you would like to happen because they have a blind loyalty to you. People like Diddy have people who are blindly loyal to them. They do. They do. That's why I was pointing out with the WWE shit. Yeah, Vince McMahon was obviously financially supporting a lot of those fighters, which is why they support him and lie on his behalf, even when they're about to tell you a story about how he dogged them out. They're all like, I'll be loyal to Vince for the rest of my life. He's like a father to me. And yeah, I broke my back and he didn't want to give me severance pay and then he fired me. Like, it is crazy to me how they will cut their nose off to spite their face. And that's why I say it's not just about money. It is a mental thing. It is a mental thing. It is how people think. That's why all of y'all's comments on some of these hot button issues is so bothersome because it showcases the mentality you have. And some of y'all may not be able to back that up to a real life scenario where your fucked up mentality is going to get somebody hurt, but I can. I can, girl. People's allegiance to people like Diddy, Vince McMahon is why so many people are able to be hurt. Even the people who are loyal to them are being hurt. It's crazy. It's crazy. All right. I said what the fuck I said. We was talking about Diddy. Okay, Janice. Thank you for coming to the front, Janice. We appreciate it. Janice Smalls Combs. Girl, that is a hell of a madam lady name. Okay, it's definitely giving madam. It's definitely give I sold cooch and it probably wasn't mine, is what it's giving. Okay. So I come to you today as a mother that is devastated and profoundly saddened by the allegations made against my son, Sean Combs. It is heartbreaking to see my son judged, not for the truth, but for a narrative created out of lies. Ma'am, there's a video of your son barely holding a towel over his penis, kicking a girl in the back of the head like a goddamn rag doll. He dog walked her in the hallway of a hotel. And she was trying to leave. And he stopped her from leaving. Then he hit her and dragged her back to the room. He dragged her on the floor like a goddamn suitcase, dragged her along the floor back into the room, even though she was trying to leave. So I don't know what narrative created out of lies you're referring to, but if we can just use what we've seen on camera alone, it's enough. Girl, we won't even get into the things we know have probably taken place based off of what we know about Diddy. Y'all, you know what's crazy to me? This was crazy. It's been years of Diddy doing interviews with people and obviously making other grown-ass men uncomfortable. Obviously coming on to them. Obviously making men who will punch the teeth out of their old lady's mouth, that will pull a pistol on their father-in-law. Fabulous. I hate to bring it up, but Fabulous is somebody who, if you will knock the teeth out of your old lady's mouth and pull a gun on your father-in-law, I would suppose that you a street nigga that's not gonna let somebody punk you, right? That's what I would assume. But when Diddy comes around, you sit there, you stiffen up, and you say nothing. You say nothing. And I'm not blaming you for being smart and being quiet so you don't get hurt, but that's some bitch ass shit. That's some bitch ass shit. But I need for y'all to pay attention to the fact that grown ass men would have a scared, freeze, quiet response to this man. Why are y'all not paying attention to that? That was weird back then. It's definitely weird now. Calling niggas daddy and stuff. If they wasn't scared of him, they'd have cursed him out or tried to fight him. But what did they do? Act like straight hoes about it. I don't begrudge you, but I also don't like the fact that y'all question the women to the point that the women were supposed to be braver than these grown-ass men that are on camera, on live streams, in front of a whole bunch of other niggas. You got a whole bunch of people in this room that, you could be like, man, y'all really gonna let this nigga talk to me like this, man? This nigga wilding. Not one of you in a bunch. Everybody quiet as a church mouse. Grown men. Quiet, not saying nothing, letting this man punk them. And y'all really think he wasn't doing the same thing to Justin Bieber, who he's literally on camera doing the same thing with? Notice the pattern of behavior, people. That's all I'm saying. Notice when somebody's being a creep. They're not joking. They're a creep, and they're being a creep. Creep. Back to the lies. So Janice said, and let's be very clear, y'all know I think Janice is mostly to blame for the monster that we see before us, because I feel like you must have done something. I do. Sean Combs, okay. She says, to bear witness what seems to be like a public lynching of my son, I'm gonna need for y'all to stop. A public lynching? How so? How is this a public lynching? How? What does that mean? This is a rich man that has been committing crimes against people for decades, finally being brought to justice. Why do y'all infantilize and make victims out of perpetrators who are finally being held accountable for their actions against other people? It's crazy. It is crazy. She said, like every human being, my son deserves to have his day in court to finally share his side and to prove his innocence. Ma'am, he has already got online before and told us that it was all a lie and it was a money grab. And then he paid the $30 million and a video came out. We heard him. He lied. That's why we can't believe nothing else he said, because he lied the first time. I am not here to portray my son as perfect, because he's not. Oh, you're not? Oh, you're not? Oh, you're not? Okay. He has made mistakes in his past as well as we all have. Girl, I can tell you what I know a lot of us have not done. I can tell you I know what a lot of us have not done. Girl. Rhymes with grape. I know a lot. Listen, I know a lot of us who have not done that to anybody. What are you talking about? My son may not have been entirely truthful about certain things, such as denying he has ever gotten violent with an ex-girlfriend when a hotel surveillance show otherwise. Sometimes the truth and a lie become so closely intertwined that it becomes terrifying to admit one part of the story. Okay, so the people that have watched Mr. McMahon, do y'all wonder about him and his daughter? Y'all. So if anybody used to watch, and y'all gotta fuck with me, right? This is the live today. If you watched the WWE, WWF back in the day, once Mr. McMahon started doing all of those skits, there was a skit that he wanted to do with his daughter. First of all, one of the very first skits with his daughter was them pretending as if she had been drugged and assaulted and like basically married Triple H while she was drugged. That wasn't real. Her and Triple H eventually get married. They're actually together. Everybody knows they run the company now. But still, this is something that a man was willing to do when it came to his daughter. Now, they've been blurring the lines when it comes to wrestling for years. That's what they do. They take truths, blur it, that type of stuff. During the documentary, they asked Vince McMahon's daughter, is there ever a skit that your dad wanted to do that you didn't want to do? And she said, yes, but I won't say it. They cut the camera to Vince McMahon. And Vince McMahon says, y'all, my mouth, says, yeah, there was a skit I wanted her to do where basically, she acts as if, she's pregnant and the baby could possibly be mine. Can y'all please explain to me why? Why anybody would think that that was entertaining or something you should do to pretend as if you impregnated your daughter? Why? Why would you want to do that? And see, here's the thing. People love to act like, oh, it's just a character. That's not really who they are. That's cat. People who are who they show themselves to be. And let's not forget how Donald Trump was very much a part of that. Donald Trump went on to WWE and did a whole little skit with Vince McMahon. They were very much cool, very much had a lot in common. People that know how to blur the truth and blur a lie well enough for you to be questioning your own sense of self. When at the end of the day, they just played in your face and insinuated that they would hunch their daughter. Now, let me tell y'all something. Before we got to the end of that documentary, I said, I know, I saw that Linda is a part of Trump's cabinet. I saw that. His daughter. I said, oh, it's the daughter. When he first had to step down from the WWE and he didn't really want to, I said, oh, it's that daughter. It's because she had the evidence on him. It's giving, you go to dad and you're like, Dad, you've been doing all of this. I've been protecting you. I can't take it anymore. I want to be in control. Step down. Or I'm gonna put this out. Or this, I put it out and then make you step down. However it happens. I was right. It was the daughter. Because as soon as he came back, she resigned. She said, I will not work there at the same time as him. And this is the one that was by his side the whole time, that stayed, that worked through everything. Let him do all of those skits with her, fight her before her wedding. Like, just the most fucked up, degenerate stuff that they could make up, they did on that show. They did on WWE. Now the daughter is a stockholder. And Triple H runs things. Yeah. And Triple H is still married to the daughter. And now Vince McMahon can't even be involved in anything because he was accused of trafficking one of his little girlfriends. Somebody who I believe he didn't, like, she said the relationship was not consensual. She wanted to work for him. And then all of a sudden she becomes a part of somebody's contract. There's a wrestler who he basically wrote it through text message that if you sign the contract, she's a part of the deal and she'll do whatever I tell her to do. So now he's also being investigated for trafficking. Oh, did I forget to mention that Vince McMahon also said in a Playboy interview that his mom molested him? So now let's get back into Diddy's mom. Okay. Where was I? Sometimes the truth and a lie become so closely intertwined that it becomes terrifying to admit one part of the story, especially when that truth is outside the norm or is too complicated to be believed. Girl, what truth? This is why I believe my son's civil legal team opted to settle the ex-girlfriend's lawsuit instead of contesting it until the end, resulting in a ricochet effect as the federal government used the decision against my son by interpreting it as an admission of guilt. But ma'am, he's on videotape beating her and dragging her back to a hotel room where freak off was taking place. How can you say that whatever the truth was, it wasn't what we think it is? It's too complicated. What do you mean? If you're going to accuse Cassie of something, just come out and accuse her of it. Don't talk around it. Don't insinuate it. Say it. Because that's what she did. She said it and she showed evidence of it. Don't insinuate shit. And that's what you're doing. That's why I can't stand when y'all don't recognize when people are trying to manipulate y'all. Y'all really don't be recognizing it. And then I pointed out and now you mad at me. Anyway, it is important to recognize that none of us, regardless of our status, are immune to fear or mistakes. Not being entirely straightforward about one issue does not mean my son is guilty of the repulsive allegations and the grave charges leveled against him. Many individuals who were wrongly convicted and later exonerated had their freedom taken from them, not because they were guilty of the crimes they were accused of, but because they didn't fit the image of what that society considers to be a good person. Ma'am, everybody thought that Puffy was a good person up until recently, for the most part. For the most part, For the most part, when BT was honoring and all of that, that is the community at large honoring a person. So if your son has been highly decorated, celebrated, and awarded, how can you sit up here and say that this is happening because he doesn't fit the image of what a good person is? Girl, what are you talking about? History has showed us how individuals can be wrongly convicted. Oh, thank you so much for dog whistling to racism. If you're not gonna do shit, dog whistle to racism so we can all remember the times that Black people have been mistreated in a criminal justice system, as if your son is not clearly outside of that as a rich celebrity who has evaded justice since 1991. Now, a lot of us have been heard about Diddy, but y'all know what I mean. The world at large was still, like recognizing him as, hip hop mogul and all of that shit. Watching the world make jokes and laugh at my son's life crumbling before yeah, okay, I'm not about to keep doing this. But what I will say that really, really annoys me, nobody is laughing at Diddy's downfall because we want him. Girl, are y'all crazy? Are y'all crazy? Are y'all crazy? It's more like this person is a monster. This person abused all these people and got away with it. And now finally, retribution. That's what feels good to people. For somebody that's been getting away with harming people for so long, actually being brought to justice. That is what people are rejoicing in. Nobody wanted to see this happen to Diddy. Are you crazy? You sound stupid. You sound dumb. A lot of y'all that think this way, y'all sound dumb. If y'all think we wanted this, like me personally, who is a huge fan of Diddy, Bill Cosby, and Robert Kelly. I'm a huge fan, huge fan. And when I say huge fan, I mean my daddy loved the Cosby Show. I've seen many of many of Cosby's old 70s movies because I liked him so much. My dad used to have his comedy on record tapes. Huge Bill Cosby fan. Definitely was one of them people that felt like, oh, they lying on him. Once you actually start to look into things, you recognize, no, they're not. Powerful men usually take advantage of women. Girl, broke men take advantage of women. That's how you become a madam. That's how your baby daddy husband was a pimp. Because people always find a way to take advantage of women. Duh. That's what everybody's doing. That's what everybody's doing. So when you're rich, you can do it at a whole nother level. Just what happens most of the time. So it's very, very annoying. I'm not even about to finish reading all that because that shit worked on my nerves. Like, what you talking about, bro?